Imagine opening your wallet and finding it's worth 15% less. That's what's happening to the stock market right now. President Trump's tariffs are shaking the world. Billions in trade, your grocery bill, maybe even your job. But here's the scary part. Nobody knows what's coming next. Stick with me to find out why this matters to you. Sharp drops and dizzying climbs have become the new normal. Investors are understandably nervous. The culprit? Trade wars. Let's rewind. A month ago, Trump announced massive tariffs, 25% on Canada and Mexico, 100% on China. The Dow tanked 2,000 points in days. Your 401k probably took a hit. Then, out of nowhere, he pauses the North American tariffs. Markets sigh, but China slaps 125% duties on US goods. Now, 67% of Americans think their finances are doomed. Are they right, or is this just noise? When governments enact policies that disrupt the flow of goods and services, businesses and investors become wary. Here's the deal. Tariffs are like taxes on trade. They're meant to protect American jobs, think steelworkers or farmers. But they also make stuff pricier. A 10% tariff on EU goods? That's $5 more for your coffee, $500 for a TV. The S&P 500's down 15% since February, and retail stocks like Walmart are hurting. Why? Because consumers, you, are freaking out. The University of Michigan says confidence is at 68.2, near COVID lows. People expect 6.7% inflation, the highest in years. But here's the flip side. The economy's not dead. Unemployment's steady at 4.1%, wages are up 4.8%. So why the panic? It's fear. If you stop spending, that's 70% of the economy frozen. And globally, China's wooing Europe, hinting at a trade club that could leave the US out in the cold. However, the consequences have been far-reaching, impacting businesses, consumers, and global markets alike. The uncertainty surrounding trade negotiations and the potential for escalating tensions have made investors jittery, leading to wild swings in the stock market. President Trump's trade war began with tariffs on solar panels and washing machines. Then came steel and aluminum tariffs on allies like Canada, Mexico, and the European Union. The biggest target, however, was China. Trump imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods. He argued that China was engaging in unfair trade practices, stealing intellectual property, and manipulating its currency. His goal was to force China to make concessions and reduce the trade deficit between the two countries. The initial impact was muted. The stock market dipped but quickly recovered. However, as the trade war dragged on and tariffs escalated, the consequences became more severe. Businesses faced higher costs, consumers saw prices rise, and global supply chains were disrupted. China did not sit idly by. It retaliated with tariffs of its own on American goods, targeting key exports like soybeans, automobiles, and pork. The trade war escalated, with both sides imposing new tariffs and threatening further action. The trade war has had a significant impact on China's economy. Growth has slowed, and businesses have been forced to adjust. However, China has also used the opportunity to strengthen ties with other trading partners, particularly in Europe. This shift towards a more multipolar world order has significant implications for the United States. As China strengthens its economic ties with other countries, it reduces its dependence on the US market. This could weaken America's leverage in future trade negotiations. Section 4. The consumer crunch feeling the pinch. The trade war is not just an abstract economic issue. It's hitting consumers right in their wallets. Tariffs have led to higher prices on a wide range of goods, from washing machines and televisions to clothing and food. The price increases are particularly painful for low and middle-income families, who spend a larger proportion of their income on consumer goods. These families are already struggling with stagnant wages and rising healthcare costs. The added burden of tariffs is pushing many to the brink. The uncertainty surrounding the trade war is also weighing on consumer confidence. People are hesitant to make major purchases, such as buying a new car or home, because they are unsure about the future direction of the economy. Section 5. The uncertain future. A gamble with the global economy. The trade war is a high-stakes gamble with the global economy. While President Trump argues that his tariffs are necessary to protect American jobs and interests, the outcome remains uncertain. The trade war could have a number of negative consequences, including a global recession as businesses scale back investment and consumers cut spending, job losses. While the tariffs are intended to protect American jobs, they could lead to job losses in industries that rely on imported goods or that export to China, and higher inflation, as tariffs are inflationary, raising the cost of imported goods. This could force the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates more aggressively, which could slow economic growth. The trade war also risks undermining the rules-based global trading system that has been in place since the end of World War II. This system has facilitated unprecedented economic growth and prosperity. However, it is now under threat from protectionist policies like those pursued by President Trump. The trade war between the United States and China is a complex issue with far-reaching consequences. Only time will tell what the ultimate outcome will be. However, one thing is certain: the global economy is in uncharted territory. What are your thoughts on the ongoing trade war? Share your opinions in the comments below.